critical misses at this stage of the game. And Kerry are under the cosh at the moment. I noticed Diarmaid Murphy instructing his goalkeeper what to do with his kickouts, because that last kickout invited that spider's web of Kerry or of Tyrone defenders to come in, pressurise the... Here comes Aidan O'Mahony.
The recently married Aidan O'Mahony got married 9 days ago to the lovely Denise Healy from Ahdo in Killarney, and off comes Peter Crowley. Good luck to Aidan and to Denise in their married life, but right now good luck to them all 30 players down in the park to resolve this one. Who's going to get the first ticket this year's All-Ireland football final? Tyrone looking strong. Mark Bradley with a point behind. Their captain Sean Kavanagh taking the charge forward here, shouldered heavily by O'Mahony. His first contribution. Mark Bradley picks, and listen to the Park. Second, he's tied up the map. It's Kerry 14 points, Tyrone 111, and the team for the 5th time. Some semi-final. People said this was going to be dour and one to forget about, but it has been anything but.
Very much thought it would be blemished by a nexus of fouling, but that time, watch Bradley as he kicks the ball. The fist punches the air. Great score for Tyrone.
Now Kerry, the All-Ireland champions, in a right battle now. Down here as far as Darren O'Sullivan, great tasty performer. Anthony Marr, beautifully measured ball into Cooper, and if anybody can rescue Kerry, point or two to edge them into a final, it's surely Cooper. Walsh beautifully down to Anthony Marr, steadies himself, kicks it well, and kicks it over the bar. Marr, the midfielder, has come up to get his first, but crucial. And they are ahead. One. With about to go.
And sometimes we just talk. Donegal once been a workhorse, but that time his vision was exemplary.
Kerry come again from the Tyrone kick out, which wasn't all that terribly great. And they've a chance to hold possession here now with Brian Sheehan. Down towards Darren O'Sullivan. Runs away from Manisha. Justin McMahon just there guarding the goal. His brother Joe, a big loss this afternoon. He's among the subs, but Joe's one of the organisers of that Tyrone defence, and he's missing. Killian Young gives it away. Picking it up, Colin Kavanagh. Kavanagh dragged down. Free kick for Tyrone. One behind in the 64th minute. This to be taken there. I noticed there's another player in there for Tyrone. It's Conor Clark, I think, is in there. That's the Conor Clark style there. I noticed a moment ago. It must have slipped on in the last couple of minutes. On here as far as Matty Donnelly. Donnelly trying to get away. Down he goes. Looks around. Looks for support. The referee says play on. No free. No foul given. That's number 19 there. That is Conor Clark. Here's Tiernan McCann. Beautifully in here as far as Cathal McCarran. McCarran, a most unlikely scorer, if he can make it, but that's high up into the air, and the Rangers going to bring the ball back now. An advantage to Rome. They'll have a free kick from just outside the Kerry 45-metre line.
Well, we thought like Tyrone coming up here today would have an amalgam of anger and attitude, but by God they have brought skill, inventiveness and spirit to this occasion and contributed to a most enjoyable afternoon's football.
Well, the same God is looking after Kerry, I'm certain, so right now it's anybody's match. Kerry 15, Tyrone 111. This can tie it up, and this is Darren, who's got 3 points so far. How he's blossomed this year. They need this. It's still in. McNulty, down he goes, and look for another penalty. And this time the referee not buying it, I think. This time the referee has decided it's a free out, and he might speak to McNulty, because he might say you deliberately tried to engineer that, and it's going to be interesting to see what the card is. He was involved in setting up the move for Barry Tierney earlier on. That did produce the only penalty of the match so far. For that, for his actions, he gets a yellow card.
I think a correct decision again is those things where you catch your defender, where you catch the defender's arm, try to create the impression that it is the defender is giving away the. But that, to my mind, was a good call by Morris.
And he is the one who's been taken off. He's missed a couple of chances. Kerry don't want to miss the next one. Killian Young, long ball down in there towards Gainey. Paul Gainey turns, smartly kicks, and he puts it up. Gainey's got a second. Killian Young with the work, providing the pass, and the ball down there safely into the hands of the number 19, Paul Gainey, and the Dingle man put it over, and it's Kerry 16, Tyrone 11, and there are two between them, and there are 4 minutes, and Tyrone are soloing. Ahead of him is Ronan McNabb. Outside him is a loose player, it's all Kavanagh. Wriggling this way and that. Look at the everybody's back, including among them Johnny Buckley. There too, Paul Murphy. Back out of danger. Back out as far as John Fitzgerald. Taking the return to Darren O'Sullivan. Look at the clock. Nearly 67 minutes are gone. 3 to go. Brian Sheehan brings it in here as far as Darren O'Sullivan. Back. Buckley is 40 metres out from Margaret. Will they get a shot in? They give it to Cooper. Trying to take it around. Barry again. His veins at this stage, it would appear. He's unmoved, unruffled. James O'Donoghue back to Sheehan. O'Donoghue again here. Donegal Walsh now. Walsh's work rate is immense. Huge one. Trying a chance down there to Gainey. Worth a go. Breaks for Cooper. Cooper could finish it here with a point. Oh dear. Absolutely inexplicable. But the referee has blown his whistle, I think, and it's going to be a free in.
It's a 30-metre free. I think Paul Gainey was pulled as the ball was in flight that time. The little sorcerer got the ball with Cooper. I thought he would have punched it over the bucket. It went wide, but I think the free was called. They saw Paul Gainey.
Well, he was incensed there, Eamon Fitzmaurice. What a great job he has done over recent years. You think about the recent achievements of Fitzmaurice, and you think about the fact that he has harnessed the talent that's available to him, and that is without Kerry teams winning too many matches. And the ones in months this group, that was one you'd expected from Column materialise, is down there still receiving attention. So too is Ronan McNabb, incidentally.
Yeah, it's hard to figure out, Ger, what Maurice Deegan gave the free. Was it for the foul or an apparent for a late tackle on Colm Cooper? One way or the other. The only thing that is important from the game's point of view is that it is a free in for Kerry.
I have to say I thought it was for that last foul there, and the referee is giving a yellow card to Ronan McNabb.
Yeah, so it has to be actually for the late tackle on Cooper.
One way or the other, Martin, it's going to mean that whoever steps up to take this, and if it's Brian Sheehan, for instance, it will make it 17 points to 14. And will that be enough now to see Kerry over the finishing line? It's going to be Paul Gainey who's going to take it. Right-footed kicker then. Didn't start the day on the park, but he's certainly making his mark since coming on. And this safely over, and that is a third for Paul Gainey. And now Tyrone 1-11. This is that again here. This is that attack. And that's where that charge came in there, very definite.
Yeah, no question about it. A late tackle from Ronan McNabb on Cooper, unnecessary in the circumstances because the ball already had gone wide, and just handed a simple free kick to Kerry.
Barry John Keane gone here in place of number 12, Donegal Walsh. So now a goal is required by Tyrone. Can Mark Bradley set something up for them? Straight foul there. We're in the 70, as you can see.
Yes, they have to get the ball forward. Sean Cabinet's in on the edge of the square. If you were to think about it just over the last few minutes, that ball, that point by Gainey from play was a superb one. The pass I thought was too high from Donegal Walsh, but that there is a very, very hard frontal tackle. Correct call by the ref. Free in.
Goalkeeper has come forward here. The additional time 2 minutes. We're into 2 now. Well, now what do? You bring a goalkeeper up and put it over the bar. That would put still 2 between them. Is he going to just try and kick it into the square? See what happens. He's going away left. He gets absolutely nothing out of it.
Oh, that's one on the players, particularly Sean Cabinett, and again maybe it's unfair singling him out, but they should have demanded that that ball was played short.
Oh, it had to be played into the square. Surely there were a goal behind. So now it plays into Kerry's hands. A disappointment for Mickey Hart, whose achievements down the years mean that he really should be seen in the same breath as the likes of Mick O'Dwyer and Brian Cody and Heffernan and Boylan and Morgan and all the great names, great managers over the years. But is it to be a disappointing finale here to this year's championship for him? Advantage Kerry, and Kerry have it, and Paul Murphy is flattened, and it's going to be a free, and it uses up some valuable seconds. And Kerry have been in a battle here. No question about if they make the final, and they're 1 minute away from that at this stage. This to be taken by Brian Sheehan into Darren O'Sullivan. Almost lost it, but recovered his balance, his control, and his focus. Get James O'Donoghue again, back in here to the man who's come off the very John Keane, and he puts it over. And Kerry now are going to make the final. There's one of those scores has to be a goal, and they've no chance of getting it forward once again. And just
got a hand to Tyrone. Absolutely superb in a very, very enjoyable game of football.
Well, they want the ball back quickly. The referee is calling for the ball, I think. What, just a second, is it over just yet? Not quite. Telling the players to get up. Last man up was Darren O'Sullivan, and Tyrone are given this a chance to mount one last attack, perhaps, with Tiernan McCann behind by 18 points to 111. Peter Hart going down, surrounded by Kerry players, giving Tyrone a touch of their own medicine by group defending, and it's all over. They see off the Tyrone challenge, and they set up another chance for themselves to retain the Sam Maguire Cup. Eamon Fitzmaurice and the Kingdom will be back in 4 weeks' time, seeking to hold onto their crown, while it's the end of the road for Tyrone this season. Seen them overcome league relegate defeat in the first round of the championship in Ulster and get within touching distance of the final itself. But it's all today about Kerry. They have justified favouritism just about, and they will now play in the county's 11th All-Ireland final since the turn of the century. Aidan O'Mahony's had quite a 10-day period, marriage and also a place with his team.
The second half, really some great scores. I thought Gainey coming in made a huge difference. The response from Tyrone in particular, at the time when Peter Hart got the goal, made it a wonderful last 20 minutes. With that little bit extra experience that Kerry had, the cuteness coming off the bench, certainly at the end of the day, when you think Barry John Kane, Paul Gainey, the contribution they made, and Johnny Buckley throughout, very, very impressive.
Right now, let's get some comment after all of that. One of the stars for Kerry, James O'Donoghue, is with Joanne.
James, well done. What was that like?
It was fantastic. We came up here to do a job we knew probably a lot of it wouldn't be fantastic, and they dragged us